I'll use a D3, and I got Birdie. What happened last time?
Okay. I really need to get better at putting where my stop point is. Okay, so I think we picked up last time where we spoke to... We went to the church to try to talk to the sister about the unfortunate incident with the sword. And she was busy, so we decided to start investigating because it smelled really bad. And talking to people, and while we were waiting, we discovered that the orchard was rotting. Unnaturally. Like, the trees were rotting from the inside out. There were wasps. There were nasty, gooey worms. It was just gross. They were falling on us. There were leeches. We were done. So then we went back and talked to her. And we started telling her what happened. And she told us not to speak of the blade anymore. To never mention what happened again.
All the artists...
Not to mention what happened. What? No, but I mean, what are we not supposed to mention?
Oh, the blade, yeah. the creature that
okay.
The guy split in half. Yeah, we plopped the skin on the desk, and she screamed so loud all the Paladin guards came in to check and see what we were doing to her.
Okay.
That is the best.
No, she did not want that. So, she said it was unfortunate that he was killed by goblins.
Okay.
And we're never to speak of this again, and she was clearly hiding stuff and not telling the truth. We talked to some heretic priests that were there as well, because they implied they might have some information. And they mentioned that there was, I'm trying to remember exactly what, like a demonic creature, and there was a curse, and that the church was hiding stuff. And part of that is part of why the orchard is rotting in an unnatural way. We also discovered in the cursed rotting forest a rotting magic direwolf that we fought and defeated. And then we decided... I think we decided everything else is going wrong. Let's just be crazy. And let's go break those guys out of jail. So we went to the keep, distracted them with music while we snuck around inside the keep, and kept running into guards and locked doors that we couldn't get into. So we discovered a lovely smell. And finally found the bathroom and realized, hey, wait, there's a hole here. We can hide. So we climbed down the toilet into the sewer.
What a good idea.
Yeah, right? And we were hanging out down there, and that's when I lost the dwarf's name.
Tharnlin.
Yeah, but Tharnlin and the others caught up to us while we were down there, and he was talking into the toilet, and he was worried at first he was talking to a toilet, and then realized it was us, and so he climbed down to join us. So we're now crawling through the sewers, trying to break someone out of jail.
Without hesitation, he just came down.
Who are we trying to break out of jail now?
I didn't write him down.
Yeah.
What's his name? That could be a problem.
Yeah, I wanted to also propose something. Lane had mentioned this, like almost like a quest list. Now, I don't think we should do that necessarily. By no means is it a video game, but I do think what we can start doing is like, just because it's so big and there's so much going on, the setting is massive, 100 by 160 miles or whatever it is, 120 miles, I can't remember. And there's multiple cities and factions and all this stuff is going haywire. So I think it's worth like reiterating what's the overall goal, which we kind of do every session. And then at the beginning and at the end, like what's the immediate goal? Like not what are 5 other things, but what's the immediate goal? Your initial goal was simply to, just because you had found the place, you decided you were going to help the town of Brandonsford, and you did, You saved them from the fairy threat of the goblins, the dragon, and liberated them. And then kind of a new problem was created, and that the wall is down. So my understanding of the big goals right now are you're still trying to find the fate of the dwarven people for the High Counselor that is currently incarcerated in Perrinval City, Lady Galby Mudbelt, right? She's the last dwarf. There are no other dwarves. And only the dwarves know how to create this, like, magical fortifications, like walls and magitech and stuff. Like, there's something about the dwarves that they know how to do that. And then the second goal is now kind of to try to help Brandonsford, right? Because they have a gap in the wall and they're not a martial people, you know, so they stand to be wiped out by the goblin threat that's resurgent in this area. Immediately, you went to the northwest. That excursion didn't quite work out, although you learned some things about the area. And then Helmer suggested coming back to Griff's Bluff in the human lands to the south of the Black Spine Mountains. And so you journeyed down to Griff's Bluff, and you've been there. You tried to get the church's help. They told you to try to get this magic sword, Sister Greta did, who is standing in for whatever kind of high pontiff is supposed to be in charge of the Church of the Thrice Blessed here, and something has happened, some kind of scandal has removed him from office, and she is kind of operating in his stead. She sees an opportunity. Oh, you have a magic sword. This lad has come to me with a quest for a magic sword. Maybe we could use this to galvanize the people, and that'll give us the power to help each other. And that failed. As it turns out, something was terribly wrong with that sword. And it gained the attention of a powerful demon that flew off with it. And then, when you come back, she told you to lie, essentially, right? And then she kind of was like, hinted at the fact that, you know, she's not on the best terms with the Marcher Lord, Baron von Edric, the Marcher Lord of Griff's Bluff. And you have a lead that there's someone in the prison, the dungeon beneath the keep, who they're imprisoning there because he knows something about the Baron. And that's the current goal. That goal can be changed at the end of the session, though. We could go a different direction. The goal might become, let's get the heck out of the sewers or something. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, without Lane here, I don't feel too great about our chances. Thiefless, trying to get into a prison and out of a prison.
I'll one thing about as far as people not being here is different than Otherworld, since this is a dedicated table, story-focused, character-focused game. You can always assume your characters will be here, and then we'll just do the best we can not to get them killed. They'll always stand in the back.
Right.
But you can always assume all of your cast of characters will always be here. I usually roll with at least 2 people. That's like my minimum to roll with.
Does that mean that he'll be able to try picking locks and things like that?
Absolutely.
All right.
And being his Tosher expertise.
I mean, Edward would not have chosen to go down the poop chute, but I think all things being equal, while we're down here, we might as well complete this goal. Otherwise, all of this is for nothing.
They were in a bit of a bind. I mean, It was
The reason we decided to go to the castle in general was because when we were talking to the Lady Greta, or Sister Greta, she said, what is it? The Baron, she's like, yeah, he's super compromised right now, and he's got a whole lot of stuff going on, and maybe it's just be a shame if something were to push a little something over the edge, right? And I just kind of assumed that was a wink, get the guy out of there from her end. So we had really no other idea of what to do at that point. So we're like, sewers, or sorry, castle. And we went in. You did a you put on a show.
Yeah.
We snuck off, and then it just went really badly. So we kind of got cornered, and we had one.
So Edward is assumed to have rejoined with you before going down the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we're down here, like I said. But my question is, if we push this guy out, who takes his place? Would Helmer know the answer to that?
Not really, no. So I think the idea was to kind of try to get him moving on,
or just basically get leverage on him, not so much push him out, but just get him to do what Sister Greta wants or something like that.
Yeah, and then as we were walking through the horrible, rotten apple orchard, Helmer was like, if you wanted to move on from here and try something else for Brandonsford, I wouldn't be mad.
Well, anyway, we're in the sewer, so
yeah,
let's see where we go from here.
That's a problem for people who aren't in a sewer.
Yes.
So then the goal would be to try to find your way back to the undercroft, right? To be able to find the dungeon. Sorry, what were we saying, Birdie?
I was saying, I think Ratbite Ben is leading us, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's a tosher. Yeah, so he knows.
Because he's familiar with this element. We have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah. Another thing, Chris, of note that I want to mention is another thing happened. The town bell, the kind of thing that's used to signal, like if there's a siege or an emergency or an announcement or something, was used. And the big event was actually a bunch of people were supposedly captured and claimed to be Rebic spies. And they were executing them on the spot. That's also something that they saw. So, all right. Let's see.
So in my notes, for some reason, I have Westerland, bad and sucks, Westerboss, oh no, and Westernell, awesome. I'm not 100% sure, but...
Now, I know that 3 of you have infravision. So my approach to infravision is kind of just this volume a little bit here. My approach to infravision is that it's like predator vision. It's actually better than modern D&D's dark vision. You can see heat signatures, and you can see completely degrees of heat, but you can't make out details. So you wouldn't be able to tell necessarily if something were different types of humanoids or like fine details. You wouldn't be able to read. And if you're far enough away, you wouldn't be able to make out details very well. So I'll give you those kind of details as we go in infravision, okay? For Alara, and then Tharnlin, Nov, and Squints can see that. For everybody else, it is pitch dark down here. I'll also tell you, you see an old corroded part of a ladder. It looks as if at some point in the past, it might have been used by Toshers that made their way down into the Middens to do work down here. But the ladder is ruined, rusty, and jagged pieces fallen off in places. It doesn't look stable at all, like that it would get you the full 15-20 feet back up out of the Middens. And there's a narrow, tiny passage leading off into a big open underground sewage place, at least under the keep, and you can hear running water ahead. You think, every once in a while, it's hard to tell from the sound of running water and the echoing if there might be voices or something moving or something that just is tinny and doesn't fit that background noise, but you're not sure.
How many factions would I upset if I moved that ladder slightly?
What's your intention?
Sorry, it was a bad joke. Yeah, because I guess I can say this in character. One of the guards did mention that there is a creature down here that they just somewhat decided to ignore.
What about me?
A creature?
Yes, they didn't elaborate. We heard as we entered into the fortress, there was a strange noise coming from a grate leading probably down here. That the guards said, "Oh yes, there's just something horrible down there. We don't know what it is yet. Just ignore it."
I see.
So that's nice.
Well then, so do we take this ladder?
Is it badly corroded, or is it useful at all, or is it just kind of?
It's badly corroded and not useful for a ladder. However, you feel like you could easily lodge it loose from the wall if you wanted to. You would then have a corroded, old, rusty piece of metal.
That might come in handy at some point, but
for the humans, it is utterly pitch dark and you cannot see anything.
Let's see what does.
I mean, I do have a torch.
I think, didn't we light up one last time for them? Because I remember we were joking about methane exploding.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Helmer had just lit one, that's right.
Helmer has a torch, okay. This body's not here, but, and this is just a abstraction. Yeah, what you see ahead of you then, actually, and I'll move you to the map.
I also will have a torch out, I think. Or is more than one not necessary if we stick close together? A bunch of us, so.
From where you currently are, if you stay close together, it does look like it would almost be hard to have two torches. This is a very narrow area, only about 5 feet wide and about 5 feet tall. Some of you have to kind of hunch down.
I'm just thinking, okay. You can't have your shield ready if you've got a torch in your hand.
Yeah, if you wanted to hold the torch, then I could go up front.
Yeah. I will do that.
Okay.
And I'll be right behind him.
What is going on with this? Come on. There we go. Alright. I will also select a caller. And I got Helmer. Helmer, you're the group caller for tonight. What do we do?
Okay. So I guess there's just one direction forward here.
From where you see, yeah, it basically looks that way, yeah.
Okay. I guess we'll just start moving our way. I guess we'll just slowly start making our way there.
Okay. Is anyone wearing heavy armor? I think Tharnwin is, actually.
Yeah, as is Helmer is also.
Okay, let's see.
I'm just leather.
You make it through this narrow passage, and it opens up, but it's still fairly narrow. It's only, this is a cramped area. It's just a little close to 10 feet across, left to right, and only about 15 feet high, the sewers. It feels slippery and cramped. There are the water itself's about 10 feet. Well, takes up a whole 8 feet of that. There's only a narrow walkway on either side from cold, slippery, wet stones. And just so you know, I'll be representing you guys during dungeon exploration, kind of with this this group token, you know. So don't think of this too much as like a one-for-one representation of where your character is and stuff. It's more so where the whole group is in terms of the dungeon. Okay, and then I'll switch it to a different scene if there's combat and stuff like that. You think that in your lantern light, actually let me make sure that it is torchlight. That's another thing. Yeah, torchlight. So at the edge of your torchlight also you think you see a door ahead, and then it looks like a rickety old walkway, dry rotted, or well rotted, and fallen through in the middle, and an old iron grate.
Okay. Well, I don't really overly trust that door. I think that's probably the best bet for first exploration. Then from there we'd be able to see whatever's going on over here. I guess just carefully, very carefully, step by step, making our way towards this door.
Okay. You start to walk along the edge here. You then are able to notice that there is another door on the other side. It looks like further ahead now at the edge of your lantern light that it has some kind of T-intersection going left and right. You find that you have to almost concentrate on the walkway in order to not lose your footing. It does not feel steady. It feels like if something were to distract you enough or apply any pressure or something, it would be easy to slip into this water. As you get a little ways into the sewer where the water is flowing, at one point Ben kneels down and he takes something and pokes the water, and it has like that kind of like rainbow kind of color to it, as if there's like a filmy, oily substance on the water. And he says, this is not like any of the sewers I've seen. There's something in this water. Something that's not refuse.
Are we able to smell anything that's out of the ordinary for a sewer?
Oh, I forgot to mention the smells. Thank you. It smells awful.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I figured, is it like just like outhouse awful, or is it like a chemically outhouse awful?
I think for you all it's outhouse awful, but Ben like sniffs it in, takes it in, you know? Yeah, and he's like, no, something's been added to this water. This isn't just refuse. Something acrid and sweet. Both.
Elmer's not going to ask him how he knows it's sweet. Okay. Yeah, that's really alarming. But, yeah, slowly up towards this door.
Okay. Let's see here. 33 feet. Make sure I have this right.
If we have to run from something, this is not going to go well.
You can do 60 feet of exploration and heavy armor without treasure. And I think you can click the door. Does that work?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. And you open the door, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't really think that through, or I didn't think that through.
There are people in here that are surprised to see you.
Here.
Oh,
you're very lucky. There are 3 of them, in fact. They look at you. You look nasty, you know, like you've got all this crap on you. And they're like, finally! One of them says, did you bring the ingredients we needed? And you see inside of here that there's some kind of workshop. The workshop has stairs that lead up, and there are alchemical containers and limbics and stuff, and old scrolls like stacked on old waterlogged bookshelves.
He kind of stammers a bit and says, I am unsure. I have been asked to be sure of what the ingredients were.
Two of them look at another one that just glowers at you. They both look really nervous. They look at this third person who looks like I don't know how to describe this. Batrachian, how do I describe this? Grima Wormtongue.
Okay.
Yeah, like.
And then he adds that the messenger who told us what it was very intoxicated. Again,
that fool. Oh, let's see here. Well, and they take a quill and parchment and they scribble on it, hand it to you, and they're like, "This is it. And if they're drunk this time, you can throw them down to Old Betty."
I've heard of Old Betty. Can you tell me more? I'm fascinated.
No, we don't have time. Go out and get the stuff.
Understood. He closes the door.
Close the door behind you.
And just kind of looks at everybody like wide-eyed and shrugs. he hands the note to Edward.
What does the note say?
I need my.
It's like an illegible.
I wonder if I can find. Oh, it's right here. Here we go. Let's see here. I'll see what's on it, and then I'll see if anybody actually would know what this could do. No, I can bring this back up. Aha! Let's see here. Oop. Let's see, this is... It says Asarabaka.
Asarabaka?
Yeah.
Would any of us know what language that is? Or what? Like, have any idea what it might be?
Well, I'm pretty sure Latin, which in this world would be something like an antiquated common. So it is a common word, but would any of you know? I don't think you would, except that Edward could make a lore check.
I just failed it.
Okay.
Is it lawful language?
No, it's an actual word, I think. I'm pretty sure it's an actual word. I'm gonna look it up.
All right, so
Yeah.
I whispered Elmer. What can we learn from these fellows?
One was, well, the two were very nervous, and it seemed the one who was the leader is a very strange, pale-looking man who was rather grumpy. I may have gotten another gentleman in trouble. This fast talking is not something I'm used to. I hope he's okay.
They don't seem. They seem rather unsavory to me.
Yes, I will be more careful opening doors next time. Ratbite, I think I will leave that to you in the future, as you have better luck and more expertise.
Very well. I think maybe we ought to try to get out of here and figure out a way up. But I wonder, because that ladder leads up. So that might be...
There's a ladder over here.
Inside that room was a ladder.
Okay.
Okay, so we go through them. Ask them if they wouldn't mind if we just use the ladder and be on our way.
Yeah, we could try that. Just be like, hey, we'll take the fast route.
Ben shrugs. Do you open the door again?
I open the door again.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And then they just turns around. What? What do you need?
We're going to take the fast way up.
All right, get out of here. Now I'm gonna roll another 2d6 because, when you come into the room, start making your way into the room. Tharnlin, Knob, and Squints come in nervously, and then one of the other people's like, "Hey, wait a second! I don't remember us hiring any hobbits."
They're part of my. They're some of my retainers. I require their expertise. The dwarf is very helpful should the sewers begin to collapse, and the halflings are quite good at finding things.
Well, how do you know they're not members of the Dead Men?
Because the dead men are dead men, and they're alive.
The other guy looks and he's like, "See, that's smart." And the other one just
Helmer
keeps
taps
working.
his nose.
Elar is trying to keep a straight face.
You go up, and you make it into the undercroft. Let me see here. And I'll turn off the sewer noises because you don't have those now. So, you made it into the undercroft. From where you are, the pattern here looks like a kind of a series of corridors with interconnecting smaller corridors. You can see one go down to a T intersection ahead, and then there's an intersecting corridor to your left, about 10 feet to your left. The intersection is about 30 feet ahead.
Is there a light source down here?
Only your torch.
Okay.
What do you do?
Does it smell the same or is it different?
It smells less crappy because it just smells like old mold and wet stone, the acrid smell of wet stone.
Ooh. Let's see here. I gotta try to mentally map this here. Can you
At least their ceramics have improved.
That is, yeah. It's those arches make me feel safer.
What did you say
Fine
again?
loan bearing.
As far as, are you gonna be the mapper? I forgot to ask that as well.
Does anybody else want a map?
I could try mapping, but I can't guarantee it'll be reliable.
All right.
We're all in the same boat.
And now my husband's laughing at me because he knows it's true.
Usually the tradition has become that you kind of post your map in Discord when, between sessions, but
Oh dear.
Caller gets 25 XP. I think Treasure, I can't remember I think it might be 25 XP, and then Mapper's 25 XP, so.
I think I've been getting 50.
For Treasurer, I think maybe that's right.
Yeah.
I do it differently depending on the game, so I think Caller and
Okay.
Mapper are 25, yeah, so.
It's weird because those are much harder positions than the Treasurer, but I'm not complaining.
Yeah. All right. So, long corridor to the right, about 30 feet down to the end of your torchlight, there's a T intersection. When you look left, it goes to, the corridor continues to the end of your torchlight in the dark, past 30 feet. And then a little to your left is an intersecting, about 10 feet to your left is an intersecting corridor, a smaller one.
To the left, is it? You said it just goes on and we can't see where it goes to, but there's a quarter off to the left or the right of it?
Yeah, just 10 feet. So it's like, let me make sure.
To the left? Like if we turn left and we turn left again, it would be the corridor kind of thing.
So you all just came up out of this alcove, and you have this corridor. Mm-hmm. This corridor goes about 30 feet, but you can tell that it goes into a T intersection. And then this goes on to the edge of your torchlight, but about 10 feet down, it has an intersecting passageway.
Oh, off on the right?
Yeah. What do we do, Homer?
Let's go right.
Okay. You head down to the T intersection, and it looks like it opens up into a larger, a much larger, longer corridor.
Hi, Lane.
Hey, sorry.
Hey.
Oh, hey, Lane. Is everything okay?
Well, I might have to jump real soon in any minute now, but yeah.
Okay. Well, anything you need. But welcome. Yeah, you're welcome to join us. They essentially escaped the sewers with Ben's help. Ben noticed that the sewer water had a strange, filmy glow to it and had a smell that does not line up with normal sewage. And then you found some people with alchemical devices in a room, and Helmer was able to convince them that you're working for them. You have a piece of parchment that simply has the word, an ingredient that they wanted, Asarabacca, Asarabacca.
All right.
Anyways, this T intersection goes a long ways to the edge of your torchlight, left and right.
And those just go indefinitely. We can't see where they go to.
Just at the edge of your light, so you would have to travel down, to see what else is down there.
Okay, but we're at the T to the right.
All right, I'm gonna do what I do in a game dungeon. I'm just gonna stick with one direction until I have to loop around. So let's just keep going right.
Okay.
Oh, you mean like FedEx and UPS?
Yeah.
This brings you to a dead end.
Oh, lovely.
So far, 50 minutes have passed in dungeon time.
Oh wow.
I guess we got to turn right again.
Head back the other direction.
All right. From here, as you travel back to the T intersection and continue, you find that there's another intersecting passageway, And then this one goes on and continues again past the end of your torchlight.
And how far is the intersecting passageway from the one we just came from? Between like...
About 20 feet.
Okay, so 20 feet down. And then that just continues. I didn't catch if anyone else was mapping. I'm mapping, but I didn't know if anyone else was. So
I'm scribbling something, but it's going to be total nonsense. So
I'm actually drawing out a map. So we'll see how
Awesome.
it turns out.
perfect. All right, yeah, keep going straight down this one.
Okay.
Okay.
It continues on for a long ways until finally, so I'm going to make another roll, and the torch goes out. And you find that the tension of all of this after an hour is exhausting, and you have to take time to rest. So you make it about to the end of your lantern or your torchlight, and then your torch goes out.
Okay. I've we can use one of my torches again.
I also have torches, I think.
I got 4 left.
If you continue, you travel on for another 10 minutes, and then finally you find that the stone walls begin to become older. They're different than the ones behind you. If you continue on for another 10 minutes, you find that they end, and they turn into cavern walls. And this area looks like it was never finished. But there's a cave, and the cave continues.
Oh, I think we best not go down there. I don't think that brings us where we want to go. I want to go
Does the
down
scent change,
there.
or does it smell the same?
It smells less like old, old stone and mildew and mold, and begins to smell more like rock and silt.
Okay.
So not too bad.
Yeah, I guess turn around and then head back to this one when we make it.
Okay. That takes 20 minutes. And you make it back to... get out of my way, dice. There we go. You make it back to this intersection. And this intersection it's very narrow. It's only about 5 feet wide, and it goes down a long ways to the end of your torchlight.
Does anybody have
Now, does Tharnlin have any ability as a dwarf to sort of tell us where we are in relation to the keep itself above us?
Yeah, he's absolutely able to do that. He says, looks like when they built this undercroft, there must have been some other structure here in the past. This is sunken. What is now the undercroft must have been the keep in the past. That's how it links to the sewage below. If I had to guess, I would say that something built like this honeycombs down into the earth a long ways. That sewage probably is part of something older and deeper.
Okay, well,
If I had to guess, I'd say we're probably under the main hall of the keep from where we are right now.
okay. Then I think we need to search around this area and go out and sort of, you know what I mean? Expand outwards from here, but not stray too far beyond the walls of the keep. Just, I mean, obviously, a cavern system is probably not what we're looking for if we're looking for a dungeon.
I think that this undercroft, I don't think it'll continue on past the keep very far. I could be wrong. But the sewer and what was under it. Aye, that could go on for miles. That and that cave.
That sounds right, yeah.
Alright. What do we do?
I guess if Tharnland, would this if we go in this direction, will this bring us away from the keep or deeper within?
Which way do you point?
Down this this thin 5 foot wide hallway.
He feels the stone, and what's really strange is you hear him make this a deep sound as he touches the stone. It has a strange, throaty bass melody to it, though. Like it sounds like he's almost singing. And he says, no, this was once the keep, I know it. If we go down toward that cave, we'll be going away from the keep. And, we either need to go back, or we need to go down this small corridor.
Very well. Alright, down the corridor we go.
Alright. Eventually, let's see here. After about 30 feet, you see where you come from. Ahead of you is a narrow passage leading to the left, and then a heavy door. And then this narrow passage continues on.
Now, just to clarify from my map, did we continue down the long passageway, or was there another passage off of that? Because I remember we went down to the cave, turned around, and went down the side passage to the right. Are we still in that one passage, or was there an offshoot that I missed?
Yeah, we're still in that passage, and we just found the spot
Okay.
where there could be offshoots.
Okay, so we're coming down, and we're looking to the right. There's a passage, straight is a passage, and left is a door. I think.
As you're... so... there was this larger...
Which direction are we coming from?
This
That
direction
one.
here.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Yeah. A relative north. The cardinal directions are meaningless, but relatively speaking, north. Yeah. Yeah, and you're facing south and traveling down this narrow 5 foot wide passage and probably only 10 feet tall. It's very claustrophobic. And eventually it continues on past your torchlight. You can see another passage like it to your left, and then a wooden iron banded door.
Ratbite, could you study this door for us?
Definitely. Sorry, my connection was coming back on. So yeah, I gotta check this door for traps.
Okay, that will take 10 minutes. That also puts you all into a rest. So altogether it would take 20... Well, yeah, in order for Ratbite to not have a penalty. That also makes another torch go out.
Birdie, what was your character's name again? Sorry?
Alara.
Alara.
I'll light one this time.
Okay. I don't know if I would know this in character, but Alara, if you wanted to listen at the door while he was working on it, can double up. Elves are good at listening.
Yeah, I can just see if there's any people behind this one.
Okay. All right, and then meanwhile he's checking it for traps. What's everyone else doing?
I guess that's
Having
a
a
roll
snack
for
or
you. On that, is it?
I did it!
Yeah. Not much else to do, I think.
Yeah. And 4th level thief find and remove traps is only at 25%.
Oof.
I
here
succeeded
we
in
go.
my listen at door.
Alright. Usually if it's like a listen at door, or if it's something, like if you're trying to do something you're not sure, like can imagine you're a person like listening, like, would you know? You know, I'll do that, and you won't know the result.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But that's okay. We will definitely take that, and you are able to search the door. And not only is it not trapped, but you're confident. First of all, it has a lock, but the lock is very mundane. And so, Ben, you think that you could open it with either open locks or a dexterity check, either one.
My open locks is only 30% as a level 4 thief.
Yeah, I would even say you can. What I mean is you can do both.
Okay.
Basically. And meanwhile, Alara, you listen at the door, and you're first right away. You're certain that you can hear other people on the side of the door. And then, as you listen closely, you can hear two voices. One is singing, and the other one every once in a while barks, like, "Could you cut that out?"
Well, those are two failures, very high failures.
Right. That so
Wow.
You can do that again. It just takes noise and time. And then, as you wait, Alara, you can hear someone singing. It sounds like a crass, almost like a pirate shanty. And then the other person's just like, "Give a man some peace. Cut it out."
So what do you think, everybody? Should I just... I might have got a little poop on that one, but if you want me to try it again, might... Yeah, for it.
I almost wonder,
Well-
given the singing on the other side of the door, if there aren't some unsavory characters waiting over there, too.
We are looking for some unsavory characters.
So that's a
Are
yes.
you ready
I'll
to
try
bluff your
again.
way through another one?
I'll give it a shot.
Just tell them we're looking for the one guy.
Yeah,
See,
we're
don't go
looking for a guy. We are
we
looking
know
for the
his
dear
name?
friend of.
Let's
Rep,
try it again.
do you have it written down?
Which guy?
The name of the.
See, there's a great check. That's like the complete reverse of the first time. Anyway, the guy that the Baron... I just have it as a prisoner. I don't think I have his name.
All right, it's been 2 hours and 20 minutes of dungeon time. Ooh, you all have been very lucky so far.
Yeah.
But anyways, the lockpick succeeded, and you catch the mechanism. You're able to, and you have control of the door, and you're confident you could open it.
Is there any like cracks of light or anything under the door or anything like that?
Yeah, if you slowly look and just crack the door, you can see that it looks like there's a sconce on a wall, and you can even tell from the inside that this is definitely the Keep's dungeon.
I think we found the dungeon, guys.
Perfect.
Perhaps. Oh, I'm wondering if Helmer just kind of, because he's got all the fancy armor, though a little soiled, more than a little soiled. Kind of walks in there all official, just grabs, assuming the keys on the table, grabs the keys on the table. I don't know. I don't know. Just trying to fool the other person, but we might.
Go with
Like you're
confidence
acting
and
like
hate.
you know what you're doing and where you're going, and
Yeah, acting like I
they
know what I'm
should
doing.
just know this. Like yell at them, like, "Don't you know who I am?"
Yeah, kind of walk in, look at the guy, and go, you must be the Baron's friend. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then be like, and if he's like, yeah, so, all right, you're coming with me. This is where you get off. Grab your belongings and come with me.
Let's see. There are 2 people imprisoned in 2 of the cells. There are a total of 7 cells. one directly across from you and three to either side. The two prisoners are catty-cornered to one another. Let's see here. Aha. One is a bedraggled old man that's kind of catty-cornered to your right side from the left, the first left cell, and then the center right cell has this man that looks all just scraggly, and scraggly white hair. He looks kind of on the farther end of middle age, at least is how he looks. And then to your left is a man in leathers, leather clothes, and he says comes up to the prison, the bars, and is like, Rebek will wipe this place from the evening lands. You know that, right?
He slams his gauntlet into the thing. That's enough out of you.
Yeah.
And he goes, go up to Edward, can I have that piece of paper, please?
The one with the ingredient?
Yeah, with the ingredients on it.
Yeah, you might be muted or something. You got it.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
All right. So I go up to the first guy, look at the paper, shake my head, go to the next guy, look at the paper. Last name first name last.
I haven't had much of a last name for a long time now. The name's Bretwald. You're awfully fancy looking for one of the Baron's guards.
I just kind of clang on my gauntlet on the thing again. Turn. Was that the middle-aged guy?
Yeah.
You must be the Baron's dear friend.
Yeah. Well, he used to think that once.
Well,
I suppose it was never the case.
Is there any keys around here that I can see?
Yeah. You look like it looks like you have just like keys on the wall. Yeah.
Okay, I go grab it. Well, you're coming with me. Don't cause any trouble.
Meanwhile, the one in the left cell just keeps yelling like, "Rebek will burn this place to the ground," and then just keeps.
Rebek is already fallen.
They just laugh.
He tries to act all little. I fiddle with the keys, trying to figure out which one unlocks the door.
All right, you're able to do that. Let me see. Oh no! It has now been 2 hours and 30 minutes of dungeon time. You're able to unlock the door.
All right.
And Bretwald, he says, "Oh, what is this about? Why can't you just let an old man rot and die?"
Because the old man has a meeting. We don't like to keep him waiting.
All right. He holds out his hands to be shackled.
No time. Kind of like lightly grab him by the shoulder, like not even like.
Now, glancing around, does there appear to be another way out of this jail cell area, or do we have to go back where we came from?
Looks like you'll have to at least leave. How you get out? Yeah, that's up to you.
That's phase 2. Or phase 3. Phase 1, infiltrate. Phase 2, locate her.
This is that part of the plan. Right. We make up the plan. While the plan is happening.
This was the problem for future Homer. We are now future Homer.
I know.
All right. Once he's out, we close. Like I kind of close the door, and then pat him on the shoulder and say, "Excellent. This, my friend, is a rescue mission. Come."
Wait, what? A rescue mission? Oh no. Are you one of those bloody mercs or cultists or something like that?
No, we're with Sister Greta.
Oh no.
Is she one of them dirty cultists?
No, this city will tear itself apart. It'd be better that I stay down here and die. I appreciate it. I don't know who you... Okay, Sister Greta, but... Or if Sister Greta and the Baron start to fight, there won't be anything left of Griff's Bluff. You'll have to at least promise me you won't blame it on her. You have to claim to be, I don't know, maybe some of the dead men or something, like one of those Rebic spies or something.
What can you tell us about Sister Greta? I'm just curious. Do you know her well, or?
I don't know her well, but she's been with the church for a long time. She's a practical woman. She just wants things to run the way they ought to, if you ask me.
Okay. You don't know anything about demons that burst out of people that look like they didn't have demons in them before, right?
He gets a long, vacant stare. I do know something about that.
Oh, you do? We got a lot to talk about then. I mean, because we don't know much about that, but we saw it happen once, and I'd really like to get that clear for them.
You've seen a demon.
I guess it's okay to talk to this guy. I looked at everybody else. I guess I was just spouting
if we're
out.
Talking about on the record, no, we haven't. But unofficially, yes. And the way things are going up top, a spat between the two of them might be the least of our worries.
What she said.
I take your meaning. Well, old Bretwald is an unofficial. If you take my meaning, you should follow me, I think. Keep up. And then, he just, takes off.
All right,
perfect.
We'll follow.
just as Helmer's about to hand him a dagger, so he just kind of takes off, and Helmer's just kind of looking at the dagger, shrugs, put in his belt, and tries to keep up.
Yeah, he actually stops. He's like, "I'll take that dagger for sure."
Ah, perfect. Okay.
He holds the dagger. And then he grabs the torch with the other hand, and then he actually takes you back to, and this makes it 2 hours and 40 minutes of dungeon time. He takes you all the way back to the cavern. And then something happens.
Oh.
Cavern.
Oh, Betty. This is going really well.
Find that sound when we last left off. Is there something skittering down here?
Oh, we haven't found it yet, but when we ran into this strange group of people who wanted us to get this ingredient for them, they were like, "How did you get past old Betty?" Or no, they told us because I lied and said that the messenger who brought us whatever the ingredient request was really drunk again. If he does it again, throw him to old Betty. So it's got a name.
Okay.
Now, which cavern are we in? Are we back in the sewer area place, or?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're mapping. So you went back. So leaving the dungeon, you turned left and went back the way you came to that long corridor. It's that corridor that went on all the way off.
The one with the cave to the left.
The cave, yeah.
And the dead end to the right.
Right, and he takes you to that cave. He takes you to the cavernous passage.
Okay, that makes sense.
Helmer, roll a d6.
Oh dear.
Hey. Nope, that's sword out of cheese. That's what we're looking for.
This is the best map I've done yet. I kind of like it.
Nice. I look forward to seeing it. All right. Helmer, you hear skittering, loud skittering noises, and the torchlight. He actually tamps out the torchlight. Let me change this to. Let's see. He tamps it out and he says, "Be quiet." And then, but you think you see shapes moving in the dark far ahead. 2 large shapes.
Helmer crouches.
Are they
a bit.
humanoid or are they something other?
Something other. Oh yeah, you have infravision. I apologize. So you see a gigantic rat, like this big.
Oh, lovely.
And there are 2 of them.
There's 2 ROUSs.
I understood
I'm
that.
Well, let's dispose of them and be done with it.
All right. Let's see here. Let me get your tokens.
Now, are we still in a narrow hallway or did it open up?
So it went from that narrow, not narrow hallway. So you went, leaving the dungeon, you turned left, which was the narrow hallway.
Went to the cavern.
You went down to the larger open corridor that was probably 20 feet across, the one that went to the dead end that you came from initially. When you turned right, it was a dead end, and then you turn left. And then turning left, you go all the way 40 feet. Or I'm not 40 feet, I'm sorry. 20 minutes of travel off into the distance. The stones changed, and you saw a cavern. That's where you are now. Now you're in a cavern. And it's one-dimensional so far. It's only going one way.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was narrow cave or if we're talking like a big cavernous.
Okay, yeah. This is fairly big, actually. That's a good point.
For combat purposes as well as mapping.
So, yeah, what's the plan as far as... let me get a scraggly old person here to join you. What's the plan of attack?
Well, the worst part of a rat is its teeth, so you probably want to avoid getting bit, but take it out.
Well,
Too late.
Can Ben take a pot shot?
I guess
Ben probably has expertise in this.
He's well acquainted with big old rats.
Farrell and I can kind of shield wall best we can, and if you guys pelt them with missiles.
Okay, yeah, I think actually the people that would be good at that would be the people that can see in the dark. What is that?
Oh, I can shoot them in the dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did they spot us?
Then who's that? I don't know. There we go. Okay. And let me actually reveal your tokens.
And then afterwards, once it starts coming at us, if our new friend here, whose name I definitely remember, could relight that torch.
Okay,
How horrifying would that be? Man. When I actually try to think of because you get that nice fantasy kind of thing where everybody's out there, they got their nice armor, it's dark, but it's blue, so you can actually see everything. But oh man, I've done urban exploration, and I can't think of how terrifying this would be.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the reason I asked about the cave is I've actually been in lava caves, and in some parts it's so bad you can't stand up, and you could touch the wall with both arms. And then in other parts, it's like there's a drop off, there's giant boulders, it's a huge cavern, there's weird sounds, and it's pitch black.
Well, you're just inside of it so far, so that's the good news. We'll see what happens as we go, but you have a surprise round if if Alara, if you slowly in the dark raise your bow and strike, you'll get a surprise round.
Yeah.
A free round.
I'll probably shoot one.
All right, you can do that.
D20?
Yep. D20.
Ouch.
Ben, you still have my short bow, I believe.
Have to hit an armor class 12.
I sure
Yeah,
do.
I have
This one's
my
kinda
finesse
down.
is only what is it? +2 or whatnot. It's a 16. I'm not sure what that is.
16, I believe, is
Oh.
+2.
Yeah, so that would only bring it to an
One.
11. So it's a miss.
And then depending if they're in close range. Let's make sure.
Let's see. The other
Can rats
hobbit-
see? I'm guessing. Can rats see in the dark?
Yes, these can.
Because I'm guessing if I missed, they would initially look towards the sound of the arrows. They'd still be slightly distracted because they would hear like a ping,
Oh yeah, no.
and they would look in that direction.
So Bretwald ignites the torch as you're kind of giving away. Your initial shots miss, and Helmer, you can roll a d6 for initiative.
All right. Are we within like? Ooh, a 6.
Nice. Yep, you're able to act first.
Awesome. I think I'm gonna hold the line.
Okay.
Well, Thelmer's gonna charge in anyway.
Would I be able to set an arrow on fire using the torch that's already lit and
don't-
fire it?
I don't think so, but that was just a surprise round, so you can attack again.
Because I would imagine I could set the arrow feathers on fire and.
Probably not. I don't think so.
I'm thinking I want to hold the line, but if I look over at Tharlin, is he like just getting ready to run on in there?
Thernlin, I mean, you know, if you want to hold the line, he will too.
Okay, yeah, let's hold kind of defensive and
Okay.
let
Yeah.
these guys get as much damage as they can before these rats get in here.
Anybody else doing, let's see, movement or missile attacks? You can do that right now.
I'll just fire another
Yes,
arrow.
they
Does
will
that count
be
as a missile
fired.
attack?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually, I'll do that for the hobbits.
Okay.
They
Let's
both
see.
miss.
Hmm.
Actually,
Oh.
they did not
Ouch.
miss. Nice. This one is dead,
Ooh, that
thanks to
definitely
Squid's stone.
Nice.
All right, and then they use their turn to move.
Didn't mean to do that, sorry.
Oh, okay.
The dead one came too.
Yeah. Let me move him back. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm just going to do a morale check because, like, this would be a terrible idea. This one will flee if you let it. It just, like, skitters off into the dark as fast as it can.
Oh, perfect.
Take that, you old bastard.
I'm good with him running away.
Okay. He runs away.
Is Rat by Ben fly into a rage?
Yeah, he's like. Oh, yeah, he doesn't like rats.
Next time, you rat!
All right. So, what do you all... Bretwald says, I see that you are accompanied or familiar with using, well, violence.
It's occasionally called for.
Wouldn't necessary.
Yeah, not much reasoning with rats. This tends to be the way.
He says, this structure, it extends underground for a long ways. This cavern, it exits outside of the city if we follow it. There's one complication, though. The entire place sits on the tombs of what was called the Elder Ones from the Elder Age. I'm sure you've heard of it. Well, I would say many people aren't even sure anymore what's down there. But if we take a wrong turn, we could end up there.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
I haven't been this way, but I know it leaves town, but I give it about a 50-50.
Sounds good to me. I don't know.
Okay.
Thurlin might be able to tell us if we're going down. I think.
Yeah, I'll make
Or
it
that might be a different game. Yeah.
I'll increase that up to have to roll under a 70. So okay, you got a 15. So you navigate this cave system with Thurlin's help, and you eventually make it outside of town.
Yay!
Let's see.
What horrors are waiting for us beyond the this cave?
Rabbi's almost disappointed. He's like, "Yeah, we made it."
I guess.
All right, and it is a beautiful fall day outside. Bretwald looks around. He says, and this has been probably hours of slowly trekking through this place. It's now, well, it's probably morning. You probably haven't slept. I think that you all went at night. You went in the evening to do this. So at this point, it's sunrise, and you haven't slept. And he looks and he says, let's see. I can see off in the distance the gorge of the Long River. We're just south. This whole thing runs off, it seems, into the gorges around the Long River.
Well, do we need to get you to Sister Greta, or what next?
Well, that's something you could tell me, but I can tell you what I know, but that's about it.
Well, before we take his sister Greta, why did she? I would be curious what she thinks you can do to help the cause. Sounds like you're indifferent, maybe, on the cause.
Well, I'm
What is the
curious
cause?
myself. I can't imagine why Sister Greta would even ask for me. Now, out of character, to be clear, Sister Greta did not ask for this person. Just to
No,
loop
not
back around to
directly.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was like a. Helmer's still convinced it was like a wink. Be a shame if somebody broke the guy out of prison,
Right.
or at least got the information from him. But above and beyond, right?
Yep.
So yeah,
Or causing a lot of trouble.
The question is, how are we ever going to get him past the paladins?
Does any of
Well, we gotta.
he's rubbing his head. He's like, any of you all happen to have anything to drink?
that's a great question. I mean, do I?
Got a
I
water
have a
skin.
water skin.
You hold up a water skin. He's like, that's not exactly what I meant.
Yeah.
A little stronger.
Is there any chance? Yeah, I was thinking of how wanted are you in town? I mean, I'm just curious. If we were to go back to an inn and get some rest, would you would you be arrested on sight,
Recognized.
or
I'm an enemy of the state, and I think that they would have let me rot for my entire life down there. And I think they'll do that to you if you come into town. I don't think we should ever go to Griff's Bluff again, unless assuming you weren't seen.
I guess
Yes
I
and
wouldn't
no.
go that far.
Hmm.
I mean, we are known figures there now, so we don't. If you're a known enemy of the state, recognizable on sight, yeah, we don't. We've never met, and if it ever comes up, we don't know who you are. But how about a little more information on who you are? That'd be nice.
Okay, he slumps down next to the tree and licks his lips, and he says, a bottle of wine sure would be nice right now, if you ask me.
Agreed.
Well, maybe that's just not in the cards for me. The name's Bretwald, and I might not look it now. And Bretwald is just like scraggly white hair, scraggly white beard, and emaciated, and looks old and beat up. And he says, you might not look it now, but Bretwald was once the squire of a young knight named Sir Edric Hillsborough. And 20 years ago now, we fought what was called the War of the Traitor. I look at you, and you've got pale skin, some of you do. One of you is obviously an elf, a dwarf, and 2 hobbits, so you're not from here, are you?
No, not from this Griff's Bluff.
Aye. Well, that's most of our common history. Nelkus. The arch-traitor Nelkus, you see, 20 years ago. He was the local king of the Evening Lands. Not Nelkus, but the king who answered to the oracles of Damarung. Nelkus betrayed him. He was his chamberlain and led an army of chaos. They did all sorts of dark and profane rituals and summoned monsters and changed themselves into strange beings that were twisted and, monstrous. And so 20 years ago, we all came together and fought a war that ravaged this land. Destroyed the cities, the roads, killed a whole portion of the population at the time. And, Sir Hillsborough, well, he was known as a hero, you know. At least that's what he's known for. He was known as a hero. And so now he's the Lord Marcher of Griff's Bluff. That's the short of it, anyway. I still remember the hills of strife outside the Battle of Pomperberg. The bodies piled knee-deep. The monsters we saw. You asked me if I've ever seen a demon. The hills of strife. I saw it there. The demon Daylock. They don't speak of it now, things like that, or we're accused of being crazy people, but Sir Hillsborough is no hero. He stood back. In fact, everything that we have to thank for the war, all of our success, the defense of these lands, everything that's left, is thanks to those people. And he points to Tharnlin. The deals they made with those monsters. And then Tharnlin's like, You disgusting rat! We made no deals with the Unmen. It was thanks to my people that we held them back across the river. And, but Bretwald's like, that's what your people say, yes. That, it was all the dwarves, all their glory, and you held back the Unmen, and the humans betrayed you. Well, you were right about part of it. And he rubbed his temple. Like it or not, your people did make a deal. And then, Tharnlin launches at him. Like the Strangling.
I'll try to hold Tharnlin back there.
Yeah.
Alright, you're able to hold Tharnlin back, and Bretwald is holding his throat, where he grasped hold of his windpipe and chokes. He says, people in these days, they don't like the truth because the war with the traitor was never won. That's the dirty truth that they don't want to believe.
Do you speak of the dwarves to the west?
The west?
Beyond the mountains? Beyond the mountains? Kind of points yonder.
I need to bring something up here. Actually,
kind of makes sense.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it would kind of make sense. Like it's in my head, it would make sense if it's those guys because things are real nasty over those mountains. And then Tharlan wouldn't know about that because he anyway, I'm thinking out loud. So.
Let me see here. Bring up my reference document. That being said, he calls it by a different name anyways. He says you're talking about the scraps of people that still live in Deggarhum, people in the hills of what's left of Crossroads. They don't mean anything at all, to be honest. They didn't help in the war. I'd be surprised if anyone there is still left alive. No. I mean the Bridge City. And at that, Tharlan says, Thurngara Droom, you mean. And Bretwald says, you can use all kinds of fancy dwarven words and stuff, but you know that your people don't follow your old ways anyways. You might as well use the language of the people whose customs you adopted. Dwarf. And Tharlan just glares at Bretwald. And anyways, Bretwald says, so that's the truth of it. He's no hero. He never fought, even in the Battle of the Hills of Strife. And when I talk about the demon Daylock and the things I have seen in that war, as his squire, as his liaison to the dwarves at the time, well, that's blasphemy. No. It was Sir Hillsborough that turned the tide at the Hills of Strife. And surely no greater evil than the Unman, no sinister plots or things like that. Surely the humans and the dwarves didn't come to some agreement with abominations.
Okay, this is all well and good. How does it help us get stonemasons to Brandonsford?
Yeah, this has certainly gotten overcomplicated.
Yes. I'm beginning to wonder, what is his sister Greta's real intent? Just to cause confusion? I don't know. I'm still not...
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're supposed
Elmer,
What does she want from us? What do you want from us? What can we do to get a caravan going to Brandonsford and be done?
Out of character, that's up to you all.
No, I'm saying it out loud to the group.
But yeah, Sister Greta did not say that she wanted this guy, freed or...
No, she's just hinted that she wanted the Baron discredited.
The Baron is the one with the armies. So if you want armies, he's the guy with the armies.
Yeah, I think the idea was to kind of try to get... Yeah, I think maybe she was trying to get him out of the way or something.
She doesn't... She's got some... I don't know. I don't trust her. She's got some... I think she's hiding something.
Yeah, you know what? Helmer's trying to... okay, so here's...
I think I was... Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Here's what I'm thinking. I kind of want to, just hand him, 3 days rations, a dagger, 50 feet of rope, say, good luck. We're going to go this way. You go that way. We're going to go try the dwarves.
Well, what does he know about... What do you know about the Baron?
It's like I said, everything that he's built his reputation on is a lie. It's all a lie.
So how long have you been in the prison there? Since, what, did you threaten to expose him or something? Like his trusted squire and then you turned on him? Kind of, what's going on?
I never turned on him. And then, he grabs you, by your armor. And he's like, I never turned on him. Ever!
Okay, so he turned on you? Why?
He rubs his head again, the back of his head. He says, Old old Britwald was just a crazy drunk for the past several years. And then I maybe drank and forgot what I was saying one night, and someone heard of it, and, well, the next thing I know, I'm dragged into a dungeon.
Okay. I'm torn, because personally, if the Baron is, I just have a propensity for wanting to see the high be taken down, but I guess it doesn't help us any, so.
Yeah.
One also lends to the fact that we can't trust anybody there. Nothing is what it seems.
Yeah. Griff's Bluff is supposed to be the good guys, darn it. Y'all
Yeah.
are all infighting and shady. I mean, we might as well just go and join up with Rebek for all it seems like.
Oh,
Helmer
Rebek.
frowns and
At least they seem upfront about their dealings. Griff's Bluff's just a bunch of holier-than-thou liars? Is that what I'm hearing?
At some point, we have to do what's expedient for the sake of our actual obligation.
Yeah.
So, can we ingratiate ourselves with this lying lord of yours?
Yeah. Sister Greta doesn't really want to know about any of this, but maybe you should see her anyway. I'm thinking. Because if Sister Greta doesn't want to get in trouble with the... Well, here's the thing. Does that mean if we take this guy to Sister Greta, she's going to try and throw us in prison? If we take this guy to the Baron, he's going to try and throw us in prison?
oh no.
We're already on Sister Greta's bad side for seeing things we should not have seen.
Yeah, which just makes me wonder exactly what is her motive in all this, other than just...
When you say that, he points to you and he says, "You've seen one of them. I can see it."
Yes,
Oh, yeah. Do I still have his skin? No, Sister Greta took it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Case in point, she was like, "Let me take that."
we went to retrieve the sword of Lord Reuben.
But it was
and
Griff.
when we had Lord Riff?
Griff,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Griff's
Yeah,
sword.
Lord, the Sir Griff. Yeah, his sword, and when it was handed to Lord Reuben, we thought, or perhaps think, to be of his lineage. He burst.
Yeah, you don't happen to know anything about any other lords around Griff Bluffs? Like, any knowledge about that or anything?
It's only a matter of time now. It's only a matter of time until they find a way. They have that agreement. And so they stay on the other side of the river. They'll find another way. And then he looks at you all and he says, "It sounds like they have found one." What was I going to say? Oh, he says, "You're right and you're wrong anyways. This place, it has secrets. Some of them old, some of them not known or understood by the people that occupy the towers that rise from the ground now. This place was built on kingdoms underneath kingdoms. And so there are a lot of secrets. But I guarantee you this. We had to fight that war. Because the thing that's off to the east of here is a lot worse. A lot worse than backstabbing and infighting and petty squabbles among nobles. It's so much worse than that. And this place will be a living hell, a nightmare, if they make it their way across that river."
Okay, I think maybe we do need to get this guy to Sister Greta.
Yep.
And then reevaluate the
Yep.
our
If we
current,
take this guy to Sister Greta and a demon bursts out of her, well, I don't know. Well,
then we're out. Like,
Yeah.
does everybody agree that we just go?
Does he feel like it would be a good idea, or that she would listen?
I am not going
Because I
back to
think-
Griff's Bluff. I'll make my way out here somehow. If the goblins stab me, that'll be a good way to go compared to some of the things that you're describing. But I'm not going back to Griff's Bluff. They'll throw me in the dungeon or kill me on the spot. They'll claim I'm a Rebic spy. They're already talking about me being a sympathizer, which is wrong. I am loyal and always have been.
Either
Well,
way, you
Sister
are
Greta's-
far more useful than most people in Griff's Bluff have been.
I'm just an old drunk. But I'll make camp somewhere around here. Actually, let me look at what he would know. This is probably the best place along the river. And then I'll make it to one of the hamlets. Maybe Westernale. I'll go to Westernale.
Westernale is a wonderful place.
I'll
Just not Westerland.
Oh no one would go to Westerling. That's a
Ugh.
most disgusting place.
Okay.
But I will be in Westernale if you ever need me. Just don't make a show of it, and I'll try to keep a low profile. And I don't plan to go to Griff's Bluff again. It would mean, well, it might mean torture actually.
Well, we've got the information. I think that she would have wanted. Maybe if we take this information to Sister Greta with from an anonymous source.
Except they may know he's missing.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it'll take a while or not, or
well, the
Yeah,
only
I don't
people
know.
that know we were there are those guards that we knew we were not supposed to be there. Is that right? How are we? I mean, we didn't tell too many people we were there, and the only ones who let us in would also get in trouble for letting us in, right? Or am I remembering that wrong?
yeah,
So
because
hopefully nobody knows that we might be involved with this guy's escape, because the only ones who should have known we were there would also be in trouble for letting us in, right?
Yeah, they'd be in trouble for letting us in, but then also those people that saw us in the sewer.
Oh yeah.
And the
Yeah.
other prisoners all saw us.
Oh, did they see us or just Helmer?
I think just me.
Yeah, I was hiding in the alley or the hallway. But...
Just to reiterate something that, because I don't want to bury the lead on this and have you all go do something, like a long thing, and then Sister Greta did not want anything. This was not like a arrangement with Sister Greta or anything. That was not something that was going on.
So Helmer completely misread.
Yeah, she was just like, oh, if somebody found out, I'm not asking for it, but right?
Yeah, that's kind of how I read it.
I mean, I kind of read it as she's not asking us to do things, but it might cause her trouble, and I don't know.
Yeah. So I just to clarify, because maybe I expressed that poorly. Generally speaking, it was I never want to see you again, and don't say anything about this. But the problem is that like you all wanted to, because you told her you wanted to help. You want to help Brandonsford. And so she says, well, if you want leverage on the Baron, but she did it in like a double speak, or like a religious double speak, right? But like, well, if you want leverage on the Baron, this is how you could get it.
Either way, we freed an innocent man and got some useful information out of it.
We did a good deed.
We got to get in some sewers to do it. So.
because we've still got, oh man, because there's still the problem of the goblins, goblin armies and stuff. But now we've got
That's the wrong
multiple.
one.
Oh, I think
we
we
never
should
did
go to the
figure out-
dwarves.
Yeah, no, this is
There's
this
also
is-
this Doomsday guy in Griff's Bluff that we haven't really figured out his deal, right? There's the Doomsday Prophet in the streets.
Yeah,
yeah, and it's okay. Like this is a good point to like kind of like look and say what are our goals and how will we do them. You know, so let's just take the time. So what is the like your overall goal? Which is right. The current one is to help Brandonsford's immediate defense needs, right? And then I suppose the question is, do you do you feel like there's no easy way to do that? Because you're not like some local lord, or you're nobody. Like you don't have any. You can't be like, hey, let's get some armies and go help this place, right? Like that's the essence of it. Is you're just some people. So it's hard. It's very difficult. I'm not going to say it's impossible to help them, but I will say you all have been very unlucky.
Our best plan was to rally a religious
encounter.
fervor, and then a demon exploded from our.
yeah. It's like, okay, so we need to find the dwarves. The dwarves will help us do this. Hey, we're passing through Griff's Bluff, so maybe we check that out. And then it got really complicated. Helmer may have really misunderstood some.
So basically, everywhere we go, things are now cursed or messed up because we were there.
Something is obviously going on a larger scale. I mean, like obviously, right? I mean, he has said that as much. Brett Wald has said as much, and the crazy person appears to be right? But okay, so I guess a starting point is like, is Brandonsford on its own for now, or do you want to try to do something to get Brandonsford help from the human peoples? And if so, what's the plan to do that?
I think we should.
I mean, the Griff's Bluff idea was originally because Griff's Bluff was supposed to be the religious community that had pilgrimages, and we were going to try and figure out a way to get the pilgrimages to get a route to Brandonsford because they've got their own holy site. So I think there's still that's still the best plan we have for helping Brandonsford. It's just so far the first attempt to get some religious fervor on our side, we may have given a demon an important relic. The second attempt turned out, well, it's all built on a lie, and all the religious fervor for support of their leaders may be BS. So that's kind of two strikes on religious movement to help Brandonsford, as far as I can think.
Yeah.
So third try, maybe this doomsday cultist in the street can get us something to work with. Man. I don't know.
Because there's the red priests from Revik that were like, hey, you should totally come talk to us. And but I mean, like, because we were originally just heading towards the dwarves, and we just passed through, right? Like this was just kind of like a like, hey, maybe we should just check this out while we're here.
Yeah, and I mean, I will to be clear, it's Dungeons and Dragons. There's nowhere you're going to go that isn't going to have problems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There are going to be problems everywhere. There's not like, oh, this place doesn't have a problem. Good, they can go help Brandonsford. There's
we're going to take the east road and then go north to try to find the other dwarves. That was originally it, and then we thought maybe we'll stop by the humans on the way.
Yeah. So you could do that.
And we put out Revik out of our minds because we were like, oh no, it has to be pure.
There's shady, corrupt people.
Yeah, but I mean, the pilgrimage angle still seems like a pretty good angle to me.
You also,
I think we should pay Sister Greta one more visit, and she said she's been to Brandonsford. She had good feelings about it. I mean, she could still do something for us. We've gone through a lot for her. It wasn't easy. We risked our lives multiple times now. So
you also
after
have You have the thing she suggested. You have the leverage on Baron Hillsborough.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was thinking. I mean, I think our best bet may be to go start a, get the common people to demand some action. Whether that action is, we want to go to pilgrimage in Brandonsford. Come on. If we get that popular, that'd be great. If, I think there's... So far, our attempts at leverage to get anything done have not panned out, but I think we can keep trying.
Mm. Come up with a new reason to visit her. But I'm not walking through that orchard again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we know now that the Baron is questionable, and there's some sort. And I keep harping on this. There's some sort of movement in the streets that may or may not be helpful, right? We haven't really. We know they were hanging people, and that it's all Rebic, Griff's Bluff conflict, right?
Yeah.
That's not all we know.
And there's still a chance we might have inadvertently rallied a lot of the paladins by telling them where that other goblin was.
Oh, that's true.
So that could
kind of follow up on that.
Yeah, should probably check that out too. And then I guess just let's head back to Sister Greta's then, and then just see if this keeps snowballing, should we just say, okay, let's just go to the dwarves?
I think if our next visit does not go well, we may need a new game plan.
Yeah, I mean, or even Rebic.
Okay. Let's
Guess
see.
we could go to Rebic.
I say, if the Baron won't help us out, then we stage a peasant revolt. That's my thought. Then we install somebody who will. That's easy, right?
Peasant revolt. Peasant revolt. Yeah. Hey, we need help lifting a wall. No. All right. We're just gonna have to burn it down. All right.
I mean, what else we got?
I see no other option here.
This is
Like you said, this is Dungeons and Dragons.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh gosh. Let's see here.
All right, second
It
for the
won't
peasant
help,
revolt. Now, man.
Now I'm wondering if there is some crazy way we could get the paladins on our side by convincing them that the leadership is siding with the goblins.
Oh,
Mm.
that's heavy.
He's got a crazy deal with the goblins. It's the reason they're there.
All right. So
He's not the hero he says he is. Yeah.
You probably have to camp because I mean otherwise you'll have negative modifiers, or you could take the negative modifiers because you haven't slept. Would you rather?
Let's
go
let's
to the
move on a
tavern?
bit and camp in a place that's far away. Like, so I'm thinking he's probably going to be here, right? But if we camp further away, then if they're like, if we get followed or somebody comes over here looking for him, we could be like, well, we were out questing. I don't know what this guy's all about. We were goblin hunting.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Never
You're
mind.
gonna go far enough for plausible deniability.
Yeah.
You
I
have
take the goblins that killed our friend. It was the goblins' fault.
you have an arrangement with him if you ever want to speak with him again. He's told you that he plans to try to create a new alias in Westernale and start a new life. It's a hamlet that's like maybe a dozen or more miles to the northwest of in what's called the hinterlands. There are these different little hamlets and villages that all kind of pay taxes to Griff's Bluff. So anyways, you camp and you make your way back along the Long River until you get back to Griff's Bluff, and that's not very far from where the church is. It smells in this area, and you notice when you come back that there are paladins actually posted and guards around the orchard, preventing anyone from approaching them. And then the two paladins here, and then you know that one's inside as well. And then the sanctuary is very active today with petitioners and people praying. It's close to full.
I guess approach the paladins, make the sign, say, "Hail, brothers! Where can we find Sister Greta today?"
You're back to see Sister Greta again, I think that she's just unoccupied today, actually, so you should be able to see her at the parsonage.
Ah, wonderful. Thank you, brothers. And he makes the sign.
They make the sign back, yeah. And
I'm sure she'll be happy to see us.
right.
Oh, she's going to be thrilled.
Has there been
likes us,
further
right?
trouble with the orchard?
One of them leans and says, "Please, don't speak about that. There's obviously some sort of curse. I think it's the goblins, but we're trying to get to the heart of it."
Of course. It's last time we were attacked by something in there, and we wanted to make sure there was no immediate threat to the town from it.
That's good to know. I'll pass it on to our Knight Marshal.
It is good to see you brave men defending this town, though.
They beam with pride, with an elven ranger telling them that. Okay,
Right.
in the parsonage, when you knock on the door, Sister Greta,
Knock, hello.
right, yeah, she says, "What are you doing here?"
Is there a reason we shouldn't be praying and doing our devotions?
Well, if you want to pray, the sanctuary is open. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be discourteous. There's so much that weighs on me these days, though that is no excuse for a lack of charity. Please, come in, I'll make you something to drink. She has almost, you get this sense of almost defeat from her. She goes in and starts preparing you some tea.
Sister, we may have some good news for you.
Oh, well, she smiles. I certainly would like good news. What is the good news, brother?
Well, last we spoke, you had hoped, I'll speak plainly, you had hoped for some, kind of leans in, some leverage against the Baron. We may have acquired the information that you were seeking. Through an anonymous source, of course.
She frowns. I don't know what you're speaking about. She goes on making you tea.
Edward, if you weave it into a story of like a completely unrelated thing, wink, wink, wink.
Well, once there was a squire named Bretwald. Need I go on, madam?
She sighs and she says, I think that you have mistaken me for something of a different sort. I really do wish the best for Baron Hillsborough. The truth is that he is needed by our people, if nothing else than for the symbol of what he was. I don't always agree with our Baron, but I do wish the best for him and for Griff's Bluff. I don't want any harm to come to him or his family.
And we understand.
Nobody
that.
suggested such a thing as that.
No harm at all. Madam, it's like this. We have now risked our lives twice to do what we, well, certainly once at least at your direct behest. And now I would like to remind you of the plight of Brandonsford and beg you, lady, to use whatever influence you have. For Brandonsford does not have long, and the winter approaches.
She looks so sad.
Otherwise, we are forced to leave Griff's Bluff to its own affairs and try to find some place that will help us more quickly.
She looks really sad, almost like she's about to weep. And she says, Brandonsford is a beautiful place. She smiles to Knob and to Squints. And with such lovely people. Knob says, oh, thank you, miss. He doesn't know what to call her, but then he bows anyways, you know, he doesn't know what to do. And she smiles, and then she says, I wish that these were different times. I wish that we didn't face some of the things we face now, but you, and I can't emphasize this enough, you misunderstand me. For if I had the power, not only would I help Brandonsford, but a great many other people as well. And I will tell you. I will tell you this. Power and influence are two things I very much do not have right now. I do not have them at all. Not to help anyone, hardly.
Can you procure us an audience with the Baron?
I suppose. Under what pretense and for what purpose?
It's the simple truth. As representatives of Brandonsford, who need his help.
Oh, I see.
And I think Brandonsford has something to offer Griff's Bluff in return.
Ah, yes, I see what you mean. Well, as I said, I don't think that will work, but yes, I can get you an audience with Lord Hillsborough.
I think it's worth at least a try.
She smiles. I agree with that. I do hope that you get the support you need. Now, I will tell you. She actually has this earnest look in her eyes. She says, I'll tell you what I know. I'll tell you, I don't want harm to come to Brandonsford. And I'll tell you the things that this place faces. For these are the things that the court of Lord Hillsborough you'll be competing with them. And you'll need to find a way to gain his favor, or at least sway his decision. First, you need to understand what is happening with Rebic. During the time of the War of the Traitor 20 years ago, Countess Yestra was a young woman, and Rebic was known as the senior house of the kingdoms in the Evening Lands, under the king at the time of Pomperberg, where I'm from, to the west. All of these cities had robust trade and travel between one another. Times were different. They were good times when I was young. Anyways, House Rebic has always been seen as the senior house in this part of the Evening Lands, what's known as the Black Spine Mountains. That is why Countess Yestra believes that Griff's Bluff is in her territory. It's not technically true, you see, for when we answered to Damirung and they sent their representatives, Griff's Bluff was a special case because of its holy significance for pilgrims. But with Damirung being not heard from in decades now, and after the war, Countess Yestra believes that the time has come for Griff's Bluff to pay homage to her house. This may sound like mere love of power or something like that, but it's not true. Rebic faces its own problems. There are criminal gangs that operate there, that run the streets, in particular a dwarven criminal gang. Countess Yestra herself is beset with problems and really would just want Griff's Bluff's help, for we have a standing army of knights and paladins. But Griff's Bluff is beset by goblins, which always come from our history as a sign of an evil portent of worse things to come. As you can see from my orchard and the loss of the fall harvest here, that grim portent seems to be coming true. If some of these problems could be resolved, then I think they would be more apt to listen, to help one another. And I'll tell you one thing. But if I tell you, and she looks Helmer in the eyes. Yes, you have a good heart. I can see it. You cannot tell this to anyone, not as a lie, but because I don't think the time yet has come. You cannot tell the Baron this. You cannot mention it at court. If you do, there could be war or worse. Can I trust you?
He nods slowly.
She sighs in relief, actually, and slumps back into her seat, and she says, I don't think that it is Rebek that has been causing all of these problems, and all of the spies that have been executed. I don't think they're spies.
What are they?
A few years ago, a mercenary company started patrolling the pilgrim roads and offering services to people. They were a private mercenary group. These sorts of things are frowned upon in Griff's Bluff, but they do happen in the Vale, and they're not strictly illegal. They were called the Silver Axe Mercenary Company, if I recall. We began to see evidence that perhaps they were beginning to do criminal activities. Extortion. Setting up tolls. Claiming to represent the authorities as well. And then suddenly they disappeared. I don't know who they work for. I don't know who is causing all of this chaos underneath it all. But I don't think it is Countess Yestra. Something else is causing all of this.
So to gain the favor of the Baron, we have to have something tangible to offer.
No, I can gain you an audience. I just want to prepare you as best I can. These are the things that will sway the court's decisions. These are the things that are being whispered into the ears of the Baron.
Well, I thank you. I think we will request that audience indeed.
Anything we can do before the audience to try to get some goodwill. I mean, you had a great idea with getting that sword, but that didn't go so.
What if we go find that... Remember the goblin told us of a place he wanted us to wipe out.
Yeah, so we actually know the location of the goblin in charge of all the ruckus.
Or some of it anyway.
Yeah.
Do you mention that goblin by name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember the goblin's name?
Briggle? I believe.
Briggle. As soon as you mention Briggle, she says, I don't know that I would do that. But you hit upon a good idea. And she smiles at Knob. And she says, a great deed, some leverage, perhaps more leverage. This is a good idea. There are a great many things that you could do for Griff's Bluff that would give you greater weight at court.
Well, point us to the closest and best one.
Very well.
Yeah,
She looks down at your weapons and she says, it might involve expertise that I think that you have.
Excellent. We like doing things we're good at.
You're right. Go stab
Seems like
the
we'll find
thing. Go stab the thing.
Pointy
Shoot
end.
arrows at rocks nearby.
Yes.
See a goblin, throw a rock.
Yes. I mean, I really was hoping to cleanse your orchard. We tried, but so we just found a dead wolf that attacked us so far. But
Efforts were made.
yeah, we tried.
I'm looking to see. Yeah, you can do some things to. It'd just be a question of how much favor you want to gain, basically.
Yes.
Enough favor. Well, yes, enough without.
Enough to get him to do what we want. Done.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Enough.
We could do several small things or one big one, but if the big one might be beyond our capabilities.
Very true.
My
want to.
actually, Sir Helmer, the knight captain of the Holy Order, the Order Militant here, would actually be better to speak to about this, but I believe that is a good idea, to find feats of great heroism and martial skill that you can gain renown. These things still carry a lot of weight in this court. And they are the things which the Lord Marcher has built his reputation on. And so there are many knights that surround him. If you do these sorts of things, I think that it will gain a lot of favor at court. Loath though I am to promote any violence.
Yes. It hardly need be said, my lady.
I can pan you all over there real quick so that you can kind of pick if you want.
Well, yeah, I'd like to pan us over where.
She'll escort you, in fact, to a knight captain who is a paladin. I don't have his image, but he is an older man with a mustache and a goatee, and he's wearing a gambeson and chain, and he doesn't have all of his equipment on, but he's speaking to various like patrols and things that are coming in, and receiving reports, and it almost looks like a command post because there's so much activity going on. But Sister Greta approaches, and they all turn, and they give the sign of the thrice blessed in greeting to her, and she says, oof. She says, Isaiah, Lord, or Knight Captain, these people are not from the Evening Lands. They've traveled from very far. I can speak to their capability. They are very capable. If you have something that you found difficult for your paladins, I believe that this group will may be able to help you. What do you call yourselves?
The Alderman of Brandonsford.
Yes. They represent the Hobbitshire of Brandonsford. And the knight captain looks at you all. Some of the knights kind of snicker at this idea of like hobbits being able to do anything. He looks you up and down and he says, "All right, very well. The truth is that I've got more problems than I have knights and horses. So if you have horses and blades and slings and arrows, and you're willing to help the people of Griff's Vale, then there is a great deal that can be done."
Willing and able, Knight Commander.
Very well. First, we have reports from Belstead. Belstead is a hamlet to the north. It's not very large, but some of the sheep have got lost. They've run amok, they say. And the shepherds are having trouble shepherding them into the hills. There's something going on in the hills near Belstead. He looks at his notes and correspondence that he's got. Let's see. There are some absurd reports of a hamlet also to the north. They claim there's skeletons there at night, and they build something. I think that it's absurd, but if it puts people's mind at ease, it'll help the pilgrim traffic. And then, of course, there are the goblin bands. There are different isolated groups, you see. There's Ardak the Grim, of course, and his lot. And then there's the Shaggy Furs. They ride into battle. They've been raiding livestock.
Is that to the north or to the south?
For some reason, they never raid any farther than east of hills of Griff's Vale, or Griff's Bluff. And all of you can make a wisdom check.
Ooh. That's where I'm a Viking.
To see if you notice something. Let me know if you pass.
Yes, passed.
Passed.
My computer crashed again, so I can't roll right now. I'm just restarting again.
Gotcha.
We
I'll
did
roll
not
for you.
pass.
Okay.
Can you roll for me? I'm away from the computer for a second.
Sure. Let's see. They both pass. Okay, so everybody but Edward and the two dwarf and the two hobbits notices that when he mentions that the Shaggy Furs don't raid any further east than Griff's Bluff, they only are west of Griff's Bluff. Sister Greta has like a nervous kind of twitch, like a nervous look. And the village of Ball's Tooth has turned its back on the kingdom and have turned to heresy. They pay no taxes to Griff's Bluff or to the Baron. They refuse his protection, and they claim to follow old gods of the land.
And are they north or south?
North, in the hinterlands short of the foothills of the Black Spine.
Oh. Past Brandonsford?
No. It would be south of Brandonsford.
Oh, southwest of Brandonsford. Let's turn our attention to what is it that threatens the pilgrim route most directly?
The goblin raids, Ardak the Grim, and the Shaggy Furs. Not to the east, but to the west. They affect the pilgrim's path there.
I see. Well, perhaps these Shaggy Furs then, I say.
Certainly. He signs something, rolls it up, puts a seal on it, and hands you this. Here's your commission. I do not have enough bodies that are willing. I can offer you no pay. Sister Greta shrugs.
We will receive reward enough.
Yes.
Okay.
Virtue and all that.
Yeah.
Track down and stop. Shaggy fur. Goblin.
Each need is a brick.
Goblin raiders.
Is Ardak the Grim? Is that the guy we already met?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we already know where he is. Can we take the commission for Ardak as well?
Yeah. He provides you 2 commissions.
We could make him our friend and have him help us.
I think that's worn off.
I know, but we could do it again.
Worked once, what could go wrong?
Ardak and
with us,
Shaggy
everything.
Furs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so for next time, well, just as the gameplay session itself, so, yes, you all have had tremendously bad luck. Although, given the situation, it makes sense. Like, this is an area in crisis. This is like if it were the modern world, this would be like a state in transition. It'd be like going to somewhere like Syria and being like, hey, can you help this Syrian village? And they're like, no. You know, like, or whatever, right? It's a mess here. And so, but you've survived, you've gained a lot of information, and now you have a pathway to be able to meet with the Baron and try to gain his favor, or at least the favor of the court, to try to sway their decision. So, next time, tracking the Shaggy Fur Goblin Raiders to the west, is that the goal?
Are we doing Chick-fil-A?
All right.
Yes, and also we should press Sister Greta a little bit.
Yeah. Sidebar, I was like, Sister Greta couldn't help but notice after you got a little uneasy there. What's anything that might be good to know?
Yeah, let's see here. I'll go ahead and do that now. Resolve it. You can tell that something disturbs her, but she is reticent to answer, and she just says, I think that you must understand that we're trying to do the best we can to survive here right now. I do think it is best that we try to deal with what problems are in front of us as well. She doesn't seem to want to talk about Briggle's band or the goblins to the east. And that's where
I wonder.
Oh, go ahead.
I wonder if it has anything to do with the goblins that visit the church now and again.
Yeah.
I think.
But we can ask those questions. we can look into that next time, I guess. But,
yeah.
All right, that's the end of the gameplay session tonight.